Hello friends, in the previous video we discussed the position statement, that means a balance sheet, and in this video we will discuss the meaning of adjustments and somewhat adjustments. And before we discuss the meaning of adjustments, first we need to know that what is the meaning of periodicity concept. Periodicity concept. And this periodicity concept is also called accounting period concept. Accounting period concept. So what is a periodicity concept or accounting period concept? All the transactions and events which performed during the year can only be considered for preparation of financial statements. And while preparation of financial statements, current year transactions and events can only be considered. Okay, suppose all the transactions and events which performed during the year can only be considered for preparation of financial statements. అంటే ఏంటి సార్, ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ and subsequent year transactions, those are not to be considered as per accounting period concept. Accounting period concept base చేసుకుంటే current year transactions and events మాత్రమే కన్సిడర్ చేస్తాం. That means previous year transactions and subsequent year transactions, if any, those are not considered for preparation of financial statements. Let us example as, say this is the current accounting year as we think. 1st April 2021 to 31st March 2022. This is a financial year 2021-22. And 31st March 2022 be the date of balance sheet. Date of balance sheet. And this we can call as accounting date also. Then accounting date అని కూడా అంటారు or date of balance sheet. And at this day here we should prepare the financial statements. మరి financial statements prepare చేసేటప్పుడు all the transactions performed from 1st April to 31st March, all the transactions performed from 1st April to 31st March can only be considered. Suppose if any of the transactions which performed in the year 2020-21 and 2020-21 transactions current year లో ఏమైనా perform చేస్తే those are not considered for preparation of financial statements. అదేవిధంగా post period transactions if any performed during the year cannot be considered. అంటే here 2022-23 2022-23 transactions if any performed in the current year cannot be considered for preparation of financial statements. And 2020-21 transactions if any performed in the current year cannot be considered while preparation of financial statements. And simply suppose if any of the prior period or post period transactions are considered in the trial balance statement. Suppose 2020-21 transactions are considered in the trial balance statement or 2022-23 transactions are considered in the trial balance statement. Those are adjusted while preparation of financial statements. And whatever it may be the prior period or post period transactions were considered while preparation of trial balance statement needs to be adjusted in financial statements. If any prior period or post period transactions are considered in trial balance statement needs to be adjusted while preparation of financial statements. And the next and very important one, the current year transactions are not considered properly for preparation of trial balance statement. And suppose if any of the current period transactions which were not properly considered while preparation of trial balance statement, those all also needs to be adjusted while preparation of financial statements అండి. అంటే కరెంట్ ఇయర్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ ట్రయల్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ప్రిపేర్ చేసేటప్పుడు కన్సిడర్ చేయలేదు ప్రాపర్గా, అలాంటివి కూడా ఫినాన్షియల్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్లో అడ్జస్ట్ చేస్తామండి. If any current year transactions or events not considered properly while preparation of financial statements needs to be adjusted in financial statements. The first point, if any prior period or post period transactions are considered in the trial balance statement, needs to be adjusted in financial statements. And second point, if any of the current period transactions which were not considered while preparation of trial balance statement needs to be adjusted in financial statements. So how all these were adjusted? All these were adjusted by way of recording adjustment journal entries. All these were adjusted by way of recording adjusted journal entries that we can call adjustments. All these were considered by recording journal entries called as adjusted journal entries. And that adjusted journal entries, here the concept of adjustments and this can also called as adjustments. Adjustments అండి. So this is the meaning of adjustments ma. So ఈ adjustments ఎందుకు అంటే periodicity concept అంటే ట్రూ అండ్ ఫెయిర్ ఫినాన్షియల్ రిజల్ట్స్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి అని అంటే కరెంట్ ఇయర్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ ఆల్ నీడ్స్ టు బి రికార్డెడ్ ప్రాపర్లీ. ఇఫ్ ఎనీ వర్ నాట్ రికార్డెడ్ we cannot ascertain true and fair financial results. If any of the prior period or post period transactions were considered in the current year financial statements, those are also no proper financial results and okay, that is the reason here adjustments needs to be discussed while preparation of financial statements. I hope with this example you understood the meaning of adjustments and the next and very important one, what are those adjustments are there? Before we discuss adjustments, we will discuss another accounting concept and answer accounting concept adantha kuda accrual concept. Accrual concept. So accrual concept em cheptundi ikkada expenditure and incomes should be recognized in books of accounts whenever it is accrued. expenditure and income should be recognized in books of accounts whenever it is accrued. Expenses and income should be recognized in books of accounts whenever it is accrued. Sir, accrued ante enti? Expenditure is to be recognized when it is incurred rather than paid andi. Ante em sir, expenditure if belongs to current accounting year, then only we should consider, irrespective of amount paid or not. Expenses is to be considered when it belongs to current year, irrespective of amount paid or not. Irrespective of amount paid or not. And అదే విధంగా income is to be considered when it is earned during the year. Income is to be considered when it is earned during the year, irrespective of amount received. Income is to be considered when it is earned irrespective of amount received. Irrespective of amount received. Sir, what is the meaning of this statement here, and what is the meaning of this statement? We will discuss with an example. Okay, so here the first and very important adjustment, that is an prepaid expenses. Prepaid expenses. Okay, sir, prepaid expenditure ante enti? Expenditure paid in before or else expenditure paid in advance. Expenditure paid in advance. Expenses paid in advance. Simply saying that here the transaction not yet completed but the amount paid. Transaction not yet completed but amount paid. Danne expenses paid in advance అని అంటామండి. Okay, what is the nature of prepaid expenses? The nature of prepaid expenses is here asset and representative personal account. Nature, asset, representative personal account. ఓకే, అండ్ ఈ ప్రీపెయిడ్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్కి అక్రూవల్ కాన్సెప్ట్కి లింక్ ఏంటి అనేది ఇప్పుడు ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ద్వారా డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం మనం. లెట్ us ఎగ్జాంపుల్ యాజ్ రెంట్ పెయిడ్ రూపీస్ 1,40,000 అమ్మా. Rent paid rupees 1,40,000. And what is the journal entry for rent paid here? The journal entry for rent paid is rent account debit to cash account. Rupees 1,40,000. And thereafter ledger. In the ledger we will open rent account and cash account. And in the rent account we will record a debit side with the name of to cash account 1,40,000. And in the cash account we will record credit side by rent account 1,40,000. Okay, and thereafter in the trial balance statement trail balance statement, we will record only the rent. Rent is a debit balance. Debit balance we should record in the debit side. Okay, rent 1,40,000, and this rent is administration expenses. That administration expenditure we will record in the profit and loss account in the financial statements. Suppose this is the profit and loss account, this is the profit and loss account. In this profit and loss account, to rent 1,40,000. Okay, this is the accounting treatment for rent paid. Okay, suppose per month rupees 10,000. Per month rent is 10,000, and we occupied the premises from the current accounting year only. We occupied the premises from the current accounting year on an assumption, and total 12 months which were acquired. Okay, 12 months ఏదైతే ఉందో 12 months premises ని మనం ఇక్కడ యూజ్ చేసుకున్నాం. ఓకే, అండ్ 12 months యూజ్ చేసుకుంటే పర్ మంత్ 10,000 అంటున్నాం. 10,000 into 12 అంటే 1,20,000 rupees be the rent which belongs to current accounting year. 1,20,000 rupees be the rent belongs to current accounting year. అంటే excess 20,000 rupees మనం పే చేసాంగా, excess 20,000 rupees which we paid. Clear? And that we can call it is a prepaid expenses. That means expenses paid in advance. In future, clear? And ఇక్కడ premises ఏదైతే ఉందో premises vacate చేసేటప్పుడు ఓనర్ ఆ 20,000 rupees excess ఏదైతే పే చేస్తున్నామో దాన్ని రియంబర్స్ చేస్తాడు కదా నాన్న. క్లియర్? అంటే ఫ్యూచర్ అమౌంట్ విచ్ ఈస్ రికవరబుల్ ఫ్రమ్ ద ఓనర్ వాట్ వీ పెయిడ్ ఇన్ అడ్వాన్స్, that is treated as an asset, representative personal account. Okay, so with the help of this example here, rent expenses belongs to current year is rupees 1,20,000 paid in advance. Paid in advance rupees 20,000, that is 1,40,000 minus 1,20,000 rupees. Okay, now as per the accrual concept, expenditure is to be considered when it belongs to current year, irrespective of amount paid or not. And current year expenditure enta sir? 1,20,000, not 1,40,000 rupees. And current year expenditure is to be recognized as 1,20,000 rupees only, not 1,40,000. That means 20,000 rupees be the expenditure. Now we need to decrease it. So 20,000 rupees expenditure ni మనం ఇక్కడ డిక్రీజ్ చేయాలి. ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ అంటే డెబిట్ బ్యాలెన్స్. డెబిట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ని డిక్రీజ్ చేస్తే ఎక్కడ రికార్డ్ చేస్తాం సార్? As per modern accounting theory, if any of the debit balance decreases, it should be recorded credit side. Okay, so here expenditure is to be recorded credit side. And prepaid expenses, the nature is an asset. As per the modern accounting theory, asset value here increases. If any of the asset value increases, it should be recorded debit side. So the complete journal entry, complete adjusted journal entry is here. Prepaid expenses account debit to expenses account. Prepaid expenses account debit to expenses account. In this case, prepaid rent account debit to rent account. Clear? Once again, prepaid expenditure is a asset. Clear? As per the here modern accounting theory, asset value increases. Asset value increase అయితే ఎక్కడ రికార్డ్ చేస్తాం సార్? డెబిట్ సైడ్. And because of recognizing it as a prepaid expenses, the value of expenditure needs to be decreased. Expenditure is a debit balance. Debit balance decrease అయితే ఎక్కడ రికార్డ్ చేస్తాం సార్? క్రెడిట్ సైడ్. Okay, so the complete journal entry once again is prepaid expenses account debit to expenses account. In this case, 1,20,000 rupees to be record, not 1,40,000. అంటే ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ వాల్యూని డిక్రీజ్ చేసుకోవాలి. క్లియర్? ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ వాల్యూని డిక్రీజ్ చేసుకోవాలంటే ఏం చేస్తాం సార్? వీ నీడ్ టు డిడక్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ కన్సర్న్డ్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్. కన్సర్న్డ్ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ నుంచి డిడక్ట్ చేసుకుంటాం మనం. ప్రీపెయిడ్ 20,000 రూపీస్ డిడక్ట్ చేసుకుంటే 1,20,000 మిగులుతుంది. అండ్ ఆ 20,000 రూపీస్ నేచర్ ఏంటి? అసెట్. అసెట్ కాబట్టి బ్యాలెన్స్ షీట్ అసెట్ సైడ్ రికగ్నైజ్ చేసుకుంటాం మనం. సో వాట్ ఈజ్ ద అకౌంటింగ్ ట్రీట్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ ప్రీపెయిడ్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్? The accounting treatment of prepaid expenses is here. We should deduct it from concerned expenses. We should deduct it from concerned expenses, and that expenses which may be recognized in either trading account or profit and loss account. అంటే ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది సార్? ట్రేడింగ్ అకౌంట్లో అయినా ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ రికగ్నైజ్ చేయొచ్చు, ప్రాఫిట్ అండ్ లాస్ అకౌంట్లో అయినా ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ రికగ్నైజ్ చేయొచ్చు. ఇక్కడ ప్రీపెయిడ్ రెంట్ అని అంటున్నాం. రెంట్ అనేది అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్ కాబట్టి దాన్ని ప్రాఫిట్ అండ్ లాస్ అకౌంట్లో రికార్డ్ చేస్తాం. సపోజ్ ప్రీపెయిడ్ వేజెస్ అని అనుకోండి. వేజెస్ విచ్ ఈస్ డైరెక్ట్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్. So we should deduct it from wages that is recognized in trading account. Okay, for that reason prepaid expenses, the first accounting treatment is here. We should deduct it from concerned expenses that is recognized in either trading account or profit and loss account. Accounting treatment. First one, it is deducted from concerned expenses which recognized in either trading account or profit and loss account. And the second one, the nature of prepaid expenses is asset. So it is disclosed under asset side of balance sheet. It is disclosed under asset side of balance sheet. Asset side of balance sheet. Suppose the prepaid expenses which is given in the trial balance statement. Prepaid expenses which is given in the trial balance statement. Then what is the accounting treatment, sir? If any of the balances which is given in trial balance statement, first we need to identify the nature. On that basis of nature, we will record in the financial statement. And here, the prepaid expenditure given in the trial balance statement, the nature we identified is asset. So, we should only disclose it under asset side of balance sheet. That means on an assumption that already adjusted from expenses. On an assumption that already adjusted from expenses. So, no need to deduct once again from the concerned expenses. And okay, once again, if prepaid expenditure which is given in the trial balance statement, it means that already deducted from concerned expenses. So no need to deduct once again. And the only accounting treatment is the nature is an asset. So we should disclose under asset side of balance sheet. Not if it is given in trial balance statement, it should only disclose under asset side of balance sheet. Under asset side of balance sheet. Okay, this is the accounting treatment for prepaid expenses as per accrual concept. Okay, and the second and very important thing which is an outstanding expenses. Second one, outstanding expenses. Sir, what is the meaning of outstanding expenses? Outstanding expenses means expenditure not yet paid but belongs to current accounting year. I mean expenditure belongs to current accounting year but not yet paid. Expenses belongs to current year but not paid. And what is the nature of outstanding expenses? Not yet paid anantam. It will be paid in future. So the nature of outstanding expenses is a liability. Liability which is covered under representative personal account. Nature, liability, it is covered under representative personal account. Okay, and the next and very important one, what is the adjustment journal entry for outstanding expenses? Adjusted journal entry. And that adjusted journal entry we will discuss with a small example. Let us example as salary paid rupees 55,000. Salary paid rupees 55,000. And what is the accounting treatment for salary paid? I mean, what is the accounting process for salary paid? First journal entry. Here, the journal entry for salary paid is salaries account debit to cash account. Salaries account debit to cash account 55,000. Because the salaries is an expenditure, as per the nominal account, expenditure should be recorded debit side, and cash is an asset which is covered under real account and going out, it should be recorded credit side. Okay, and the ledger treatment. Here, salaries account and thereafter cash account. Salaries account which is debited in the journal, and in the salaries ledger account we will record debit side with the name of to cash account 55,000, and cash account which is credited in the journal. In the cash ledger account we will record credit side with the name of by salaries account. $55,000. And the salaries is a debit balance. So in the trial balance statement, salaries we should record debit side 55,000. We will record only the salaries point of view now. Okay, and this salaries is also the administration expenses. That administration expenditure we will recognize in profit and loss account. So this is the profit and loss account. Say salaries we will record in the debit side to salaries 55,000. This is the accounting process for salaries paid amount. Okay, and this is a per annum, per month. Salaries is a 5,000 rupees. Here, employee is a person who worked the entire 12 months and entire 12 months work chesadu, and the current year onwards he joined and current year లోనే వాడు జాయిన్ అయ్యాడు అండ్ ఎంటైర్ 12 మంత్స్ వర్క్ చేశాడు. పర్ మంత్ సాలరీ ఎంత అంటే 5,000. 5,000 ఇంటూ 12 మంత్స్ అని అంటే వాల్యూ ఎంత సార్? 60,000 రూపీస్. అంటే ద సాలరీస్ ఈజ్ అన్ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ విచ్ బిలాంగ్స్ టు కరెంట్ అకౌంటింగ్ ఇయర్ ఈజ్ 60,000. సో కరెంట్ ఇయర్ expenses 5,000 into 12 months which is 60,000 rupees. Clear? And what is the amount of salary paid? 55,000. 55,000 rupees we only paid. Clear? Paid value 55,000. Clear? Even 55,000 pay chesina sare, as per accrual basis of accounting, expenditure belongs to current year can only be recognized irrespective of amount paid or not. ఇక్కడ ఎంత సార్ కరెంట్ ఇయర్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్ 60,000 రూపీస్ అంటే 60,000 రూపీస్నే మనం ఇక్కడ ప్రాఫిట్ అండ్ లాస్ అకౌంట్లో రికార్డ్ చేసుకోవాలి. క్లియర్? అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 60,000, 55,000 paid and 5,000 rupees which is treated as an outstanding salaries. Okay, so now the value of expenditure needs to be increased. Value of expenditure needs to be increased as per accrual basis of accounting. మరి ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ అంటే డెబిట్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయితే ఎక్కడ రికార్డ్ చేస్తాం సార్? డెబిట్ సైడ్ యాజ్ పర్ అక్రూవల్ బేస్ ఆఫ్ అకౌంటింగ్. అండ్ ఈ 5,000 రూపీస్ పే చేయలేదు అంటున్నాం, దట్ ఈస్ ద అవుట్ స్టాండింగ్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్. సో లైబిలిటీ, నౌ ద వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ లైబిలిటీ ఇంక్రీజెస్. లైబిలిటీ వాల్యూ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయితే ఏం చేస్తాం సార్? క్రెడిట్ సైడ్ యాజ్ పర్ మోడర్న్ అప్రోచ్. సో ద కంప్లీట్ అడ్జస్టెడ్ జర్నల్ ఎంట్రీ ఈజ్ యువర్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్ అకౌంట్ డెబిట్ టు అవుట్ స్టాండింగ్ ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్. Expenses account debit to outstanding expenses. Okay, so once again, why expenses account is debited and why outstanding expenses is credited? Because as per the accrual basis of accounting, the value of expenditure needs to be increased. Clear? So if any of the expenditure value increase as per the modern approach, it should be recorded debit side, and if any of the value of liability increases, it should be recorded credit side as per accrual basis of accounting. In this case, salaries we need to increase it by 5,000 rupees. So salaries not 55,000, we need to increase 5,000 rupees outstanding salaries, and this outstanding salaries nature is a liability, so we should disclose under liability side of balance sheet. Okay, so first, what is the accounting treatment of outstanding expenses in financial statements? Accounting treatment. The first and very important one, it should be added to concerned expenses which recognized in either trading account or profit and loss account. ఇక్కడ salaries కాబట్టి profit and loss account అని అంటున్నాం because it is an administration expenses. అదే suppose outstanding wages అయితే, wages is a direct expenses, it is recognized in trading account. So trading account లో wages కి యాడ్ చేస్తాం. So first accounting treatment is here, it should be added to concerned expenses which recognized in either trading account or profit and loss account debit side. It should be added to concerned expenses which recognized in the debit side of either trading account or profit and loss account. Second and very important one, the nature of outstanding expenses is a liability, so it is disclosed under liability side of balance sheet. Disclosed under liabilities side of balance sheet. Okay, this is the accounting treatment. Suppose outstanding expenses which is given in trial balance statement. Trial balance statement లో ఇస్తే ఏం చేయాలన్నా, first we need to identify the nature. We identified the nature. Nature is liability. So liability kabatti only we should disclose under liability side of balance sheet on an assumption that it already added to the concerned expenses. Okay? Note. If it is given in trial balance statement, it is only disclosed under liability side of balance sheet. It is only disclosed under liability side of balance sheet. Okay, this is the outstanding expenses accounting treatment. Okay, as per the accrual base of accounting, expenditure part adjustments enti prepaid expenses and second one outstanding expenses. The next and very important one, which is incomes. మన ఇన్కమ్స్కి సంబంధించి అడ్జస్ట్మెంట్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో దోస్ అడ్జస్ట్మెంట్స్ వీ విల్ డిస్కస్ ఇన్ ద నెక్స్ట్ వీడియో. Thank you for all for watching the video and we'll meet in the next one.